Hey, what's up everyone? DJ Sterf here. And this video will be a little bit different because I have some video clips as well as a diagram that will help illustrate what goes on in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Golden Freddy mode. It's also known as 1020 mode. It's more like 11 max mode because when you get to this screen right here for your customized night screen, you have 10 animatronics on the screen at 20 AI. That's why people call it 1020 mode for short. But Puppet is not on this screen, and you can't customize how annoying the marionette is. So on night 7, the music box is going to tick down at a constant, ridiculously fast speed. So it becomes an annoyance because you always have to go to camera 11 or cam 11 to wind that music box. So it turns into cam 11 simulator, basically. I'm also not convinced that some of these animatronics don't take moves off sometimes. So I'm not convinced that all of these are a functional 20 AI. What happens is it takes the AI of the character, and then a number is drawn at each move between 1 and 20 for each character. And if that number is less than or equal to the AI level of the character, then that character either moves or moves to attack you or whatever. All right, so there's an advancement because of that random number drawing. And that's why we call this RNG, the random number generation, because it's totally reliant on who's there at what time, and then their random numbers determining when one is going to show up and all that. And it's often extremely unfavorable to the player. I would even call it one of the most annoying random fests in the series. And boy, does this series have its doozies. It's just very annoying. So when you tackle this mode, I would say maximize your skill as much as you can, because you need to give yourself as good a chance as possible to win this mode. And since this is so random, and I still maintain that most nights are unwinnable, the configurations are just so unfavorable to the player, just take the randomness with humor and laugh off the randomness. That's basically my advice. Another thing too is you don't want to sit down and play this for hours on end, because then you can get frustrated, then you get more annoyed and make silly mistakes. You're so focused on getting these animatronics back that you start making silly mistakes, and then you get more and more angry. Okay, so this is a game. If you never beat this mode, it doesn't mean that you're less of a person. If you get this mode, congratulations, that's really cool. So anyway, I'm just trying to put things in perspective here, okay? It's just a very random mode, and an extremely excellent Five Nights at Freddy's player may not have this mode just because of the frustration and the unwillingness to play this for hours and hours on end. I would recommend playing this for maybe as long as your attention span would be normally in a long PowerPoint presentation. So either 45 minutes or an hour at a time, then step away, cool down, come back to it, and then you should be fresher, okay? So that should help, I'm hoping. All right, so for beating Golden Freddy mode, you get two things. You get a star on the customized night menu, or the custom night menu. I know it says customized night up here, but everything else is like custom night in the series. So you get that star, you get the stars around the Golden Freddy title. The funny thing on this too is if you change one of the animatronics to a 19 and then back to 20, so all the presets are all 20s, because the Golden Freddy text doesn't come back to white text. It's grayed out, so you don't get credit for it if you win that. So you want to change presets and then change back. It's kind of the tamper-proofing that Scott threw in here. So I mean, that's at least one good thing. But the funny thing with that is if you mouse over Toy Freddy's nose on the Celebrate poster on the left side, on the left wall here, and you don't have to actually... I'm hoping the audio isn't coming in all garbage, because it's sounding like garbage in my ear right now. But if you hit CD plus while moused over, and let me make sure, let me reboot this audio engine just to be sure. Restart audio engine, and then it should be clean. There we go. I'm hoping y'all didn't hear that like buzzing noise, okay? But you still get the pink slip with Fritz Smith. Ooh, Fritz Smith! Ooh, lore solved! All right, you needed some speed stick for the odor. This is all a big speed stick ad. That's Five Nights at Freddy's. It's all a big speed stick ad. And yeah, it's a silly thing to have in the game still. I don't know whether the CD stands for Cawthon Debug or Clock Debug or even Cawthon Development, but then the CD Plus or whatever, it just advances it to the end of the night. And that's it. It gives you credit for it. The funny thing is, and another funny thing is, because I'm mentioning a lot of funny things here, is 420 mode actually gets you the third star on the main menu. It's not Golden Freddy mode. Golden Freddy mode also gets you this Golden Freddy plush on the desk. Let me go back to that picture right here. See? On the right side of your desk. There's another thing you can have on your table during the night. And if you go back to my 1.033, so version 1.033, with the Halloween lights, that completion of 1020 mode that I just did in higher quality, which I think looks a whole lot better. The old video, I can't see Foxy anymore. The encoding changed on YouTube. I still have the clip here, and you can see Foxy in the background, but it's just, I don't know why. I don't know why it's so difficult to see now on old video. So anyway, new video looks a whole lot better. But you have to get those Halloween, the pumpkin and the Halloween lights, so the Halloween accessories or whatever, you have to change your system date to October 31st. The year doesn't matter. But it's annoying too, because then you can't even check your email while you're doing this. It's an issue of your computer time syncing up with any other server time that's, anything related to authentication. It's just not going to work. So change your date and time back to automatic settings once you're done if you want the Halloween pumpkin or lights, or just play it on Halloween and then you can play it like that. And that's 1.033 and later have that, okay? And there hasn't been a later, but I'm estimating that future versions will probably still have this if there are future versions. All right, that was a mouthful. All right, so we covered that. You get the cheapo pink slip, but if you want the actual strategy for 1020 mode, all right, here we're gonna go through this. The problem with isolating one animatronic, and this is really annoying, is Foxy appears, and regardless of whether all of the animatronics are off or not, Puppet is still at max AI. So you can't really look around and tour the place. Like I want to just see the rooms. I want to flash around, see, hey, what graphics are here, how the rooms look, how it's all laid out, but you can't really do that. So you can do that a little bit, but then you have to wind up that music box like crazy, and then eventually you'll hear a hallway noise. If an animatronic is either in the hallway or like at the edge of a vent, you'll hear, or in a vent, you'll hear that noise in the background here. That. And Foxy's there, you see? So this clip I showed that all of them started at 0 and you still have Foxy. And this one's more of a silly clip too. Let me make sure the volume's up on this. Most runs won't be winnable. All right, let me turn off my webcam for a second. Here's a clip. And I'll talk through a little bit here. Ow. All right, so there we had a left vent, but then Toy Bonnie showed up out of cycle. And then, we have an instant withered Bonnie, and I'm thinking I'm basically dead, but... Oh my gosh. It's like, yeah, laughing it off, because... And then now I'm pretty much recovered, but I won't be ready for a Toy Bonnie attack yet. But now, check this out. Oh, hey, you're back. So now I'm just like, forget it. We can't do it anyway. So this ends up in a Toy Bonnie jump scare. So I'm just like, you know what, whatever. This run wasn't winnable. And then just kind of dealing with it from there. So just laughing off the randomness again. All right, let's go back to the mouse path strategies, because you want to be sure that your mouse is bouncy in its path, because... let me get to an AI spot right here. You see this? So follow my mouse right here. I'm right around the fan right now. Okay, not this one right here, but over here. All right. So if I go too low and all that, it won't always register that I want the mask down, or mask down, mask up, or whatever. So you want to have a little bit of bounce. It does take a few more frames to cause that to happen, but it eliminates the whole like, oh, you left your mask on or you didn't put your mask on type of issues that can happen if you don't leave enough room. So you want to get out of that region and then come back into it as much as you can. Okay, so that's one thing, as well as hold your mouse button down the entire time after you get to cam 11. So you're going to start the night, you're going to go to cam 11, you're going to click on that region where it says wind up music box. You're going to hold down. So let me actually show you that. Let's see that. There, okay. So this region right here, you don't actually have to click every time. As long as your mouse button is down and you're hovering over that area, it will wind the music box, and you can get an extra few frames of charge on your music box because of that. Your precision is most important, and you don't have to click fresh. So you don't want to mouse over that and then click because you wasted a few frames not having your mouse button down. Okay, so hold down your mouse button the entire time after you get to cam 11 and click on that wind up music box the first time. All right, so that's one key. And just be really precise with your movements, because if you don't get to that area, then you're not going to wind the music box. So you have to be really precise. Just get used to the movement whichever way you go on the mouse pathing, and then you should be good. Okay, so mouse path strategies, let's get to that part here. I'll walk you through each one. I can find it. Okay, yeah, here. No, that's not it. Yes, that's it. Okay, mouse path strategies. So say, like, every time you come out of the camera, do a mask flip. If you do that and there's an animatronic attacking, it's not going to pull the mask off, so you're still going to be safe. It just wants you to react instantly to an animatronic being there, and it's really annoyingly fast on AI 20. So it's rather unforgiving. So you just want to come out of the mask every time. That takes care of Golden Freddy completely, as well as any animatronic attacking. That will take care of that. Okay, and if there's no one there, then you want to start like checking the hallway. And this covers this. This is the mouse path strategy set. So if you put on the mask, this is the right to left path right here. So you see that? And you notice as well, when I went back to the wind music box, I'm making sure I'm tapping control for flashing that flashlight, because you want to get as many flashes at different periods on Foxy as possible. Okay. So I'll go through Foxy in a little bit as well in terms of the flashing and the requirements for that. I don't know the exact specifications on that, but I can give you pointers that definitely have worked for me. Okay. So that's the right to left strategy. I couldn't execute that perfectly every time because I'm right-handed, and I do better with winding up like this and then executing precisely like that. And you see the mirror of what's going on, so it actually looks like I'm going right to left, but my hand is going left to right for me. And if I went right to left, I would often put down the mask instead of going the camera, because you have to kind of work around the mask if you're going right to left and that type of thing. So I wasn't as precise doing that. I found it more quick to do the next two patterns, which this one is called the T pattern, what I call the T pattern. All right, you see that? Okay. So that one, if you're afraid after an animatronic attack that you're too late in the cycle and Foxy's about to jump and you need to flash Foxy, make sure you get out of your mask, then go to the middle and flash quickly. Then that covers Foxy, if Foxy is coverable, and then you go left to right. All right, and then at the end, while you're going back to that region where the wind up music box region is, then you flash Foxy while you're doing that. Okay, right when you're going to that camera. So you'll see a flash at the end of that. If I go through that again, so this right here is the right to left. Okay, this next one's the T pattern. Okay, you see the flash at the end. Next one's left to right. This is, I think, the quickest, and I still hit that middle area before I wind up the music box, because if I don't, then I'm risking Foxy getting very mad. Okay, so those are a lot of notes. I think it would be helpful right now to go through the cycle diagram. Okay, and this I put together. One note is each cycle equals 5 seconds. And let's make this wide enough so it'll actually hold all that. Wow, did it really just... What? 5, okay. What happened there? What? What is going on here? All right. So each cycle is 5 seconds. We'll just keep that in mind, okay? Why is it doing that though? Each cycle equals 5 seconds. No! What? Okay. Thanks, Fireworks. You are a real pal. So just keep in mind, these are 5 seconds apiece, all right? when you start the night, there are no animatronics that are going to be in your office or a jeopardy on this first cycle junction. I used to call these iterations, but people are getting confused. These are just cycles, all right? So it's basically, this is gonna be how it looks, all right? So say we're in cycle 5 and we're going to cycle 6. All right, this is going to be how it looks. So you have the mask latency after an animatronic attack. Let's start actually with let's actually move this up. Okay, so say we're in cycle 3. One thing you're going to do is wait until you hear that ambient noise at either cycle 2 or cycle 3. That's going to show that someone's either in a hallway or getting ready to go an event or in event. So that means someone's near, basically. Past that point, like right when you hear that noise, that's the start of the cycle. So if you hear the ambient noise here, then animatronics are getting close, and enough that you're going to wait a little bit into this cycle. So wait about, say, a second or so, and then when you're winding your music box, then you are going to get out of the music box. You're going to have an animatronic attack, and you are not all the way to the end of the cycle. When the animatronic is done attacking, so basically you're going to throw down the mask. And you can say smokin' if you want. Why is it doing this? Come on, fireworks. It's so much easier in principle, but you're gonna drop the mask here, okay? So that's gonna cover that. You're gonna have your mask down for the animatronic attack. The animatronic attack lasts just about 5 seconds on the dot, if not about 5 frames short. That gives you a little bit of time to get out of the mask, which takes about 16 frames for the UI to appear after the mask comes off. So you're gonna do this. You're gonna take your mask off, and this only leaves this much time before, if Foxy is gonna attack, which is right here, and if he hasn't been flashed this cycle, you have to flash the hallway. That's where the T pattern comes into play in terms of being really helpful. Okay, so past this point, you're gonna flash the middle, and then Foxy's covered for this cycle. And if you flash at the end, then technically Foxy should be covered at the start of cycle 4 and won't be mad at this junction right here. See what I'm saying? So then when you check and go again to wind the music box, I don't know why this is doing this. So you go to the camera, you wind the music box, then you're not at the end of cycle 4 yet. You're going to go to the start of cycle 5. You're going to drop your mask again. And if someone's attacking, let's see. There you go. If someone's attacking, then you have your mask down. And that's going to carry over all the way through cycle 5 through about right here. Okay. So then you're going to take the mask off and hopefully not be too close to the edge of the cycle end there, okay? So take the mask off, then you check again, wind the music box, then you have an animatronic attack. The problem comes in when you delay too much or you wind the music box too much. So let's say we switch up the pattern a little bit, okay? Say we wait too long into the cycle and we wait 2 seconds into the cycle. I'm winding the music box, then an animatronic attacks. So I have the mask down, then I'm clear for that one. But the problem is, right here, you see how much time I have to flash the hallway. If Foxy is in the hallway and he hasn't been flashed reliably lately, which here it doesn't, and the likelihood would be, okay, well, if I'm winding the music box all throughout here, just in case, and then I'm not checking the hallway at all, that's gonna be no good anyway, because you want to pre-prepare there for Foxy, that type of thing. if you go too late, you see here the latency of the mask off until the UI shows up for you to be able to flash the flashlight in the hallway. It's going to bring you past the point at which Foxy is going to jump. So a lot of times, if you're too late in the cycle and you have an animatronic attack and you haven't been reliable in flashing the hallway a lot, yeah, Foxy's going to jump here while you're taking the mask off, and you can't do anything about it. Then your night's over. So I mean, it's just like, all right, well, that's it. You got to start over. All right, so that's some of what goes on there. There's also a complicating factor here. You have the stubborn animatronic attack and the recovery whine music box. So Toy Bonnie throws a monkey wrench into all of this. Theoretically, you could just go here and wait about a second into the cycle, and then you have all the time in the world to flash your flashlight and that type of thing, and cover all areas. Then you start the next iteration, and then you wind the music box some more, that type of thing. Yeah. And it depends on how fast you are and how long this check part will be. This is just how much you check the office. It could be really long, could be really short. You just have to be really efficient with it, okay? So in the case of a stubborn animatronic attack, let's draw that one out, okay? So when you wind the music box and then you throw down the mask and animatronic attacks, then say Toy Bonnie shows up. Let's actually make this a little more realistic here and make this later. So I'm going to do this. I included that big old white box I made. Okay, so let's say we're in cycle 6 and we are winding the music box about a second into the iteration, which is great. Then I'm going to drop my mask as I am going into an animatronic attack. Okay. The problem then comes in where a stubborn animatronic like Toy Bonnie could show up right after this, and let's get rid of this one too. There you go. And Toy Bonnie won't start attacking until here. That's a big problem because like you pull your mask up, but you can't really do anything. So you check, and you throw the mask down after the check because you see Toy Bonnie, and you have this massive delay between when you put the mask down and Bonnie actually showing up to attack. Make sure you're flashing the hallway when you check. But sometimes Toy Bonnie just decides not to attack, and there's a chance that Toy Bonnie could run out the entire music box. It's just very annoying. I wish Toy Bonnie, in improving the mode, if Toy Bonnie were more likely to jump out and just attack while you have the mask down at all. Like Toy Chica's a little bit better about it, but it's mostly Toy Bonnie that has the worst favorability in actually jumping out and crossing past your point of view, your mask, all that. Toy Chica actually has a graphic in the assets of the game for going left to right, kind of like an Ultimate Custom Night. I think that's how it was supposed to be, and Ultimate Custom Night having that makes me think that it's a bug that Toy Chica doesn't come across like that. But if there were something where Toy Bonnie would come across and then Toy Chica would come across even like interleaved, that would be a big improvement as well. If one had to finish and then the other started, then that would be even worse than what it is now, and I would think that would just ruin the game even more. And it's really only this mode. A lot of the other modes are just either a piece of cake or at least somewhat fairly challenging. But yeah, 1020 mode just wasn't done with fairness in mind, really. I don't think it was really tested on that level. Okay, so say we isolate the stubborn animatronic attack and we basically just don't have... Okay, so ignore this right here right now. Okay, so we're in cycle 6, and we'll get rid of that one just so it's not confusing. All right, so we have a stubborn animatronic attack going on, and you basically have no music box left. You're going to recovery wind the music box, so you're not even going to check at this point. You're just going to go to the camera, and you're going to wind for 8 ticks. And when I say 8 ticks, it's like that almost like... It's like a gear noise It's like a wrench with gears, but it's like when you wind up a music box. It's that type of thing. I'm not talking about the pie slices. The pie slices are interesting. They're actually 20 pie slices, and in the music box meter, and it takes about 19 frames out of 60, so almost a third of a second to wind one of those pieces. So you're talking about anywhere from 6 1/3 to 6 2/3 seconds to wind the entire music box from 0 to hero, and then you should be pretty well set. But you can't do that. You really can't do that. When you're winding a music box, you usually go 7 ticks, which is about 3.5 seconds. And a recovery wind music box, you go 8 because you didn't take the time to check the office. That's a big gamble, but you almost have to take that gamble to have any shot of winning this. Another option is you could check one side, because if Toy Bonnie is gone, then Mangle is going to be the only other option from the right vent of someone showing up. And Mangle, you always hear that radio, that CB radio static type noise to know that Mangle's in the openness of the vent. All right, so you got to attend to Mangle if you hear that. But the left vents, yeah, you can check that light and then drop the camera, then wind. But think of it like this: your budget is 8 music box ticks. So every time you hear that, like every half second ish type, and it's a terrible estimation of what it sounds like. Your budget is 8. If you do nothing and just go to the camera, wind for 8. If you do a lot of stuff like go the entire path left to right and all that, go 7. If you check one side, go about halfway as it would take to get from 7 to 8. So 7.5 ticks basically. And that's the way I go about this. It's interesting as well because there are some complicating factors based on computers and what computer you're playing this on, because I remember in 1.032, my cycles were 4 2/3 seconds long. And really, I guess if I were more precise, I would say more like 4.72 seconds a piece. And there was definitely some speed up in what should have been a 5-second cycle. The night was also proportionally shorter because of that, but I had the same amount of actions going on. If you think of this night, think 84 cycles, because there are 84 cycles in the entire night. The whole night is 420 seconds. I don't know if Scott was trolling, but each hour is supposed to be 70 seconds long. But I don't know, something about the Clickteam engine. It might deal with my old computer being slightly overclocked. I know that some computers run Clickteam clocks very hot. And what I'm saying there is sister location 1020 mode. There were people who were finishing the night in 4 minutes instead of 6. And there were also frame rate issues with sister location that were crazy, because people were just like browsing through, checking all the cameras and all that, and they were still winning that mode. And it's because there was just such delay in everything being processed and all that, but the clock still ran true. It was crazy. So Clickteam is not, at this point, the most reliable counter system, I should say. I actually wanted to make a tech demo of a CPR application, and I made the first one in Clickteam. I made the other one in B4A, and I guess we would take it to Xamarin if we wanted a full proof and just put that up on Google Play. But the timer on Clickteam was just so inconsistent that we were like, we can't jeopardize people's lives because of this. So this is not something that hospitals should use. This is a fun game programming type system that's especially it's not precise. So we'll go with that. Interestingly, on this last run on my computer here right now, which I'm not running this overclocked right now because I have 10 cores running at 3, and that's perfectly fine for what I need right now. It ran for 5 seconds exactly per cycle. And I can map out what I did and that type of thing, and I might make a video where I do that with this last completion. But yeah, it's interesting. It went 5 seconds a piece consistently. So anyway, it doesn't run consistent across all computers, and a lot of your cycles might be different, but you will have 84 cycles regardless. And the first one is free. It's empty. There's going to be no attack, no animatronics, and all that. The second cycle, if Foxy is running a little bit grumpy on you, you might want to flash the hallway. There's a a flash where it like refuses to show the hallway, and that's usually meaning that, oh, image is loading or something is changing. I would actually stay out of the music box for a little bit, wait until you actually can flash that hallway, then cover that flash. Just make sure the hallway is flashed. Treat Foxy like a plant. Needs light, basically. All right, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. So every in-game hour has 14 cycles of 5 seconds apiece, and yeah, that covers that part. All right, so 84 cycles in the night. What else? All right, we covered that. Yeah. Another way to improve the gameplay as well is if you're in this position here where you can't actually flash the light while you're bringing up the mask and Foxy still jumps you. It would be nice if there were some latency here that allowed for that 13 frame out of 60 gap between the mask, or a 16 frame out of 60 rather, gap between the mask being thrown up and actually being able to flash that hallway. And what would that be, 0.4 seconds? If there were a 0.4 second latency allowance, or maybe like 0.45, just to leave you a little bit more time on Foxy jumping, that would be a big improvement. So Scott, if you're actually watching this and watching to this point, then that would be my recommendation for Foxy. It would make him a lot more manageable, as well as the Toy Bonnie thing, where Toy Bonnie can sit here and you can have your mask on at this point right here. And the annoying thing is, unless you pull off your mask and then flash the light at Foxy before this point, you having the mask down for so long also puts you at risk for Foxy attacking you. And usually Foxy is polite if there's an animatronic attack, or say Toy Bonnie is coming across or whatever. If Toy Bonnie attacks here, Foxy's not going to start considering jumping till here. The annoying thing too is Toy Bonnie seems really random in terms of when he will actually come across your screen. So then in that case I showed you where most nights are not winnable, you can have another animatronic attack like right here. So right when you go and wind the music box again, then you're pretty much out of luck. For the most part though, if everything is clean with where you are with winding the music box and all that, do a recovery. So let's get this back on track here. So wind music box, all that. All right, okay, cool. So then this is going to put you back here. You're going to come out of the music box. Put your mask down. There's probably going to be an animatronic attack. Then you gotta have time to take off your mask. And then this is going to put you here again. You're going to do another recovery wind music box for 8 ticks. And then that will put you later and later in the cycle. And the thing you have to watch out for is going too much. Because you can have, for example, BB. If BB is in the vent on the left side and you don't check, BB is going to laugh and steal your batteries, and that's going to cause Foxy to attack you unless you're at the very end of the night and get very lucky with Foxy not jumping at you. All right? It's no good to have that, but sometimes you do have to up the music box as much as you can, and you put yourself at risk for, say, BB jumping at you or Toy Chica jumping at you. And I usually do this for 2 or 3 cycles here, so recovery wind, music box, and all that. And also, I should say too, like there's a flash that you have to do while you're going here, because if you don't, then Foxy's going to jump, like almost guaranteed. So recovery wind, music box. You take the mask off, then you check. You flash the light, you just flash the light in the middle, then you go and wind your music box for 8 ticks. All right, so that's what I'm getting at there. And if I have to change this to flash, it's only going to be for a split second, so it'll be like this. So let's make this yellow. Sure, flash. You can't really see that anymore though. It's not very contrasty. Yeah, flash in the night. Shout out to DDR Max. Oh man, it's just for a split second, and then you have to do some more winding, all that. Okay, but you're putting yourself later and later in the cycle, and that should get you back to where you need to be. But again, in this area here, let me make another box here. This is like the warning zone. Let's make this a a richer reddish orange, I guess. It's just you're at risk because you can have an animatronic left vents. So left vent animatronics. Yeah. So that's your risk. That's the risk you're taking with this. And that's really all you can do. 8 ticks, and then if you can do that a third cycle, if you're feeling gutsy, you can basically get your music box up almost near full if an animatronic doesn't attack basically instantly. Because if you're I guess in the instance of Withered Bonnie in that one clip, Toy Bonnie probably, let's see, probably attacked toward the end of a cycle, or I should say, yeah, toward the end of a cycle, and then you drop the mask, or I should say, here, let's this, you're so close to the edge here, you can flash here for Foxy. So let's do a flash. So if you do a flash, and then you go to the recovery wind music box and you're right here, but you're so close to the edge anyway that you go to the camera right when Withered Bonnie would pull down the monitor anyway, then you're actually going to get something like this. And then instead of getting a recovery wind, you get like this much of the, you get about this much of the recovery, like this. And then you're out of luck. So it's just a timing game for Toy Bonnie. A strategy that might counter that a little bit, and I can go over alternate strategies here too, but the right to left mode, if you see Toy Bonnie, just drop that mask immediately. I still can't do that too reliably, so I kind of gravitate away from that. I like to do the left to right or the T pattern if I'm afraid that Foxy hasn't gotten enough light recently. But all in all, I should say that the normal pattern that you're going to have is wait a little bit into the cycle, maybe about a second. This will put you about a fifth of the way into the cycle. You're going to wind the music box near the start of the night. And then you put on your mask and you can check. There may not be an animatronic attack. If there's not, then you can do a check. You can flash this. The check includes the left, middle, right, and of course the flashes in the middle of the hallway. And then you just go right back to your music box. And if no one's there at all, like you can go the length of a recovery wind, which would be about 4 seconds. Then do the same thing and check, and you're probably going to have an animatronic attack right about here. All right. That'll last about 5 seconds. You take your mask off, and then you're good to go. Okay. You just don't want to be so close to the edge of the cycle that you don't leave time to flash Foxy. And that's why Foxy's so grumpy a lot of the times, because at this point, that's when animatronics move, and if Foxy hasn't gotten enough light and he's annoyed, then yeah, if you haven't flashed the entire cycle, it's likely that Foxy's going to jump. The other option is Foxy could be in parts and service, so if the hallway's empty, and then Foxy's not going to attack in that. So most likely Foxy will move to the hallway in that movement point, and then he'll be a risk once you get to the next cycle junction. So I'm hoping this makes some sense, and that's my diagram. Professor DJ Sterf, done with that part. I have some notes on a lot of these animatronics as well, so I'm going to go through that. So this will be a really long video, but hopefully there'll be something here that'll help all of you. And I know that this has taken a long time to get. It's mostly because I've just been so ridiculously busy. I am getting 4 days compensation time, which is good, so that'll give me time to catch up with some of these videos. And yeah, that's really it. I guess before I cover the individual animatronics as well, there were some old bugs in Golden Freddy mode. If you look at this screen right here, let me go back. Okay, 212. Here we go. there was a fade-in effect in earlier versions of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and it would not load in the 20 AI in time, so it would treat it as 0. So it would load in a 0, and then like when it eventually fades in all the way, that's when it sets every one of those counters to 20. So if you click the ready button fast enough on those older versions, you can play 0-10 mode, and then it counts for whatever mode you're in, which is it's just ridiculous. So so you can load up Golden Freddy mode on say version 1.0 or whatever, and yeah, you can play 0-10 mode and it'll give you credit. I guess it doesn't really matter too much because of the whole nose hover CD plus thing. You know, interestingly with that one too, in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, there was a code for SC4 for either Scott Cawthon 4 or whatever, and then that jumps to 4 a.m. And 4 a.m. is usually the transition point between regular animatronics and either Nightmare or Nightmarion, or Nightmare Fredbear also. And SC6 also advances you to the end of the night at 6 a.m. So I think it's Scott Cawthon 4 and Scott Cawthon 6 is what he intended there. But those were taken out pretty early in the game, so that's not a factor anymore. But Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2 both have the CD Plus still in the game. And I guess speedruns still count runs that, I guess it's a different category, but it's basically how fast can you navigate to the next point in the menu, because you just got to mouse over and then CD Plus. Yeah, I did it. Like, okay, you managed no animatronics, but you did escape somehow. Teleported out of there with the CD Plus code. So, also, yeah, so 0-10 used to be a thing with this menu as well, but that was fixed. The fade out effect was taken out. The presets could be loaded in past the click action. So it could just send a preset, and then it would send the preset values if one of those presets were selected in the next frame. That is possible. But anyway, you also used to be able to use the mask and flashlight consecutively, so at the same time. That was also taken out, so you could just be chilling, flashing light at Foxy while you have your mask on and that type of thing. There is a bug still where if you put the camera up at just the right time or just the wrong time, you can have the flashlight be on and it'll drain your battery because it'll treat it as on the entire time you're winding the music box. That also can cause Golden Freddy to jump scare you if Golden Freddy's head is in the hallway, even without you knowing it. It also can charge up some light on Foxy if you have Foxy in the hallway, but it's a bug. It should turn off the flashlight in the hallway when you're in the cameras. That's still something where you just have to hit just at the right frame for it to happen, but it still happens, and it kills your battery if you keep your light on all the time. The sounds of the game, it basically reminds me of a bowling alley. It's loud and it doesn't seem to be channeled strictly, so you just get a lot of noise everywhere and always. At least BB laughs or makes some kind of hi or hello type noise so that you know that BB is moving. The first time through is 4 hellos or highs or the laugh type noise. 4 of those, and then BB is in the open part of the vent. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4 every time you hear something from BB, that usually means, all right, well, time to check the vent or put the mask down, and then you'll usually hear him laugh away. Sometimes that is overwritten by another vent noise, though. It's just a metallic kind of clanging. And that's how you know that the animatronics are moving, but it does sound like a bowling alley, and I just think everyone's getting strikes all the time when I'm playing this mode. It's just very, very odd. Yeah. Bowling alleys used to be, in my area, notoriously smoky. I guess they banned smoking indoors maybe 15 years ago, but until that point, it was extremely smoky, and so I would come out of there smelling like a cigarette, and it was just a very different experience. We used to do bowling leagues and that type of thing, so it's been cleaned up a whole lot in terms of the inside, and the secondhand smoke has been cut down a ton, I think, which is a very good move. But anyway, this is how I remember bowling alleys. It was fun though, but man, it was different. So anyway, it does sound like a bowling alley, I think. That's it. I can't tell left or right channel regardless on this game. Maybe it's just my headphones. I don't know. But I do have it in stereo configuration, and I can tell a very strict difference, say in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, like moving left to right, that type of thing. So if you have it configured in your Windows settings as surround sound, you might want to change that to stereo on these games anyway. Because if you have it in surround sound, then some of it's going to sound like it's coming from, you know, not quite the front, but it's going to be in both left and right channels instead of either all the way right or all the way left. And there's a major difference there. You can still win because I won several of those hardest modes without that channeling, but it's more annoying. It's a lot easier, and it's how it's supposed to be with the stereo sound. All right. Okay, so the easy animatronics. First of all, you got Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy, his attacks are negated if you put the mask down each time you come out of the camera, if he's sitting there on the left of the hallway, and if you don't flash the hallway too much when Golden Freddy's head appears there, that also covers Golden Freddy not jumping at you from the hallway. So that's really it for Golden Freddy. The annoying thing, again, if the flashlight is in infinite flashlight mode when you go to that wind up music box screen region, cam 11 basically, yeah, that can result in a Golden Freddy jump scare as well. Yeah. What else? The Wizards. All right, let's go back to this clip here. Withered Freddy. Where are you at? There we go. All right, so Withered Freddy. I would say all the Withers are extremely easy, but Withered Freddy has a unique distinction here. You know how you can camera stall Freddy in the Five Nights at Freddy's basically entire series, except for VR, because you can't really cam stall him. I guess it does slow him down a little bit. But he doesn't seem to follow the same path if you keep your camera on Party Room 3 for as long as you can. The problem comes in when you do have to go to cam 11 to wind the music box. And I'll talk through this right here. You see here, like I'm waiting for Withered Freddy to go to the hallway because that's his normal path. So the normal movement pattern is he goes from parts and service and cam 8, then the main hall, and which is cam 7, then Party Room 3, then the hallway, then the desk. But it seems that he just skipped the hallway on this one, and he just was extremely eager to go to your desk. And I missed that mask, but that also covers one other issue, is that if you're right at the end of the night and you get a surprise wither jump scare, if you don't put the mask down and you don't put the mask down after the attack or the camera at all, you can still flash the hallway and you won't get jump scared unless you do one of those actions. Like, you are going to have to wind the music box if you want the music box to be full. But if you're right at the end of the night and you can take about 20 to 23 seconds for the puppet to actually get to your desk, if you have that time, if you have less than that time left in the night, then you can actually just sit there and do nothing except flash the hallway, get rid of Foxy, and then that's really all you can do. But unless you put that mask on at this point, or put the camera down, you're not going to get jump scared. There's also another bug here, and let's see, but okay, before I cover that, so Withered Freddy, cameras do seem to stall Withered Freddy quite a bit, but you do have to go back to cam 11 way too much, and Foxy still shows up at AI equals 0, so you do have to go back out and flash the hallway. So you can't just keep the camera on Withered Freddy all the time. So technically cam stalling is meaningless on a lot of this. Withered Bonnie, there's nothing too special about Withered Bonnie. The design is pretty cool, and Withered Bonnie is one of the vent animatronics, but will not appear in the open part of the vent. Same with Withered Chica as well. There's nothing really different about Withered Chica, except that it's a chicken instead of a rabbit. And so, notably, the Withered Bonnie and Withered Chica tend to take priority in attack over Toy Bonnie. Every blue moon, Withered Bonnie attacking or Withered Chica attacking will eat an attack from Toy Bonnie. And when I say that, Toy Bonnie will be in the vent, but if you do the flip glitch really quick, oftentimes you'll just see either Withered Bonnie or Withered Chica, and then you'll check the vent and Toy Bonnie's gone. That's what I call being eaten. Toy Chica can be eaten a whole lot, and a lot of times if you don't check that left side, you won't have to worry about Toy Chica. When Toy Chica is stubborn and doesn't leave, that's when you have to worry about that. So it's good to check the lights on the left side anyway. For that reason, because Toy Chica can be stubborn as well, but not as stubborn as Toy Bonnie when actually leaving when your mask is down. And you can't tell when Toy Chica leaves either. We're already on Toy Chica though. All right, let's get back to Wizard Bonnie. You can, so you can have an attack eaten, or you can have a long attack. So look what happens here. So you have Wizard Bonnie. This is a, all right, that's a normal attack. But you see, I did the flip glitch there.
That might be a double.
Yeah, so this is a double attack.
It's a double attack. Wow. Wow.
See how long that is? And then it kills your music box. And I'm just like so relieved because I thought I was dead.
Gosh.
I'm just like, man, that was crazy. All right, we'll cover Foxy here in a second, but the long attack takes double the time, but it covers whoever the Withered is as well as Toy Bonnie. But man, it kills your music box. And unless you have just about a full charge, you're not going to make it through that. Okay, so that covers those. Toy Freddy is easy as well, same as the Withered animatronics, but Toy Freddy will approach from the front the entire way, so just from the hallway. Note also with Toy Freddy that when Toy Freddy is in the near hallway, it doesn't mean that Foxy's not there, but Foxy can still jump scare you if you're not flashing the hallway regularly. So the best thing is just constantly flash the hallway as you're going across checking the room and that type of thing. All right. BB is okay, a left vent animatronic, and you will hear 4 either laughs or hellos or highs and that type of thing. All right. And he does appear in the left vent opening, and he's instant. If you see him in the vent on the left, or if he's there in the vent on the left and you put down the camera, he's instantly out there and laughing, and you can't flash your flashlight anymore. So Foxy's going to get you basically, unless you're right at the end of the night. Usually when BB leaves, he makes another laughing noise or hi, hello, or whatever. I wish he said bye. That would be kind of cool. It'd be like, bye. And then you're like, okay, cool, he's gone. Mangle is probably the easiest one to deal with because Mangle sound cue is there when Mangle is there, and then once your mask is on and then Mangle's gone, that sound effect stops, and then you know, okay, Mangle's gone. We're clear to go back to the camera and wind the music box. So Mangle is very easy to defend against, and I think Mangle's probably the most straightforward animatronic out of the bunch. It's just very straightforward. Very rarely the cause of you losing. Usually Mangle is very considerate and in the appearance schedule. So we'll say that. So Puppet. What else? I think I've covered everything on Puppet except for there's one extra thing. Let's see. Here we go. So I wait for the meter to go down all the way. You're gonna see here. You see that there's no charge on the music box, but I have the flashlight on the entire time. There's no advancement for the Puppet as long as the flashlight is going. However, if you change that around and you start like tapping the flashlight, then yeah, you will see the Puppet advance and then start his attack. You also notice that the flashlight went down ridiculously low because of holding the flashlight down. It's not efficient to do. So here I have it down all the way and I'm just kind of tapping the flashlight. And yeah, there, Puppet's gonna come at you. That's about it. All right. So let's not cover the flip glitch yet. Let's go back to this one. Flashing Foxy a lot of times. Okay, so Foxy is an annoyance. Let me think if there's anything else with the Puppet. If the Puppet is on the move, you can sometimes see the endoskeleton standing in cam 11. If you go to the main hall, sometimes you can see a flicker of the Puppet image. Kind of, I guess you call it a hallucination or whatever. But again, Puppet can be light stalled, basically, so the flashlight stalled. So you just hold down the flashlight. So if you see that yellow triangle or orangish triangle, yellow-orange cheddar cheese colored triangle for the caution, like, uh-oh, we're getting low on the music box, that lasts for about 2 seconds. And then the red triangle flashes for about 5 seconds. And if you're not there in time, hold the flashlight down. And if you don't get there in time, the Puppet leaves. And also the puppet's awfully non-generous about resetting because he doesn't reset. So if you get the puppet 2 notches out of the box, and then you charge the music box, you basically have no margin for error, margin of error. Blanking on the right usage of that right now. You don't have any sort of leeway on that. You have to get to the music box fast, otherwise you're gonna have him leave immediately once that red triangle appears. All right. What else? You can't charge too much. If you charge for 10 ticks, you're basically asking Foxy to jump regardless of where you are and how well you've done so far. So let's go through the Foxy flashing the flashlight thingy here. So this one right here, I'm gonna flashing Foxy a lot of times. So you notice here, okay, something's going on, loading image. Now you can flash the hallway, and I'm just flashing. I think I flashed 100 times in this clip, and Foxy just appeared, but you notice it took a whole chunk out of my flashlight there. But notice there's no more hallway noise. Okay, now this next one, flashing a lot, then leaving a cycle unfinished. So I do that. There's going to be a jump scare here, but I do slow it down so it's not as scary. And turn down the volume. Yeah, or I didn't slow it down. I turned down the volume. So basically, I was flashing a lot, but then I waited an entire cycle, about 5-ish seconds, just at the right point. And then, regardless of me having flashed Foxy a lot, Foxy still jumped. So I did have another example I went through, and I couldn't find the clip again, but I went through, I just flashed once per every about 5 seconds, then went back, wound the music box, flashed, music box, flashed, just like very, very brief. It kept Foxy there a long time, but it didn't wear down my flashlight, and Foxy did eventually leave, but it took him like maybe an hour and a half to leave. And with that, like flash him 100 times, I killed my battery, but then Foxy left basically immediately after I started that new cycle. So Foxy basically checks whether he's gotten enough light. I also do this right here. Constant flashlights, I'm just holding it on. And then I gotta charge the music box here. And we're good. So you notice there, like, Foxy seemed to appear more often when I just like spam that mask for no reason. And that was my Foxy set of tests there. All right, what is this? Let's see. All right, flip glitch. We'll cover that in a little bit with Toy Bonnie. But with Foxy, basically all bets are off if you flash him enough with a flashlight to his liking, and then drop off and don't flash at all during one cycle. So the best thing is, if we go back to this diagram, be sure that each cycle has a check mark of, hey, I flashed Foxy. The exceptions, long attack, like if another animatronic is attacking, Foxy won't jump during that time. But right afterwards, if you're in this period where you haven't flashed Foxy that cycle, and he's in the hallway, and you're taking your mask off and you can't flash, you're still going to get jump scared by Foxy. So you just want to be sure that you are in a good spot in the cycle so you aren't jump scared. The end. That's pretty good. What else? Reading through my notes here. Foxy has a very simple path. He starts in parts and service, and then he goes to the hallway, and then if he's flashed with enough light, then he goes back. I was thinking that there was like an annoyance meter, so if you like charged up flash on Foxy, then later on it wouldn't matter. But if you leave him one cycle without being flashed and he's standing there, then he's still going to jump. So it doesn't really matter. It just wants you to flash Foxy at least once or a few times per cycle. It's better to do it a few times, and like so I'm just tapping through, so you're not killing your flashlight, but you are getting flashes in, conserving your flashlight, but also doing enough so that it tends to push him back to parts and service more quickly than one flash per cycle. I think you could get by with one flash per cycle, but it's just I don't know. Just keep hitting control, basically. What else? Yeah, so treat Foxy like a plant. That's pretty good. I think that covers Foxy, but that's why he's so grumpy. Toy Bonnie. Maybe someone threw salt water on Foxy and he got mad. Toy Bonnie, time for flip glitch. So I'll have to illustrate with a diagram here. But you see here, Toy Bonnie is in the vent, and I went to the camera when Toy Bonnie was here. Okay, let me let me start that clip over again. It didn't. Let's see. Okay, so there's a puppet clip, and next clip here. So Toy Bonnie's there. I go to the camera very early on, then I come out of the camera, throw down the mask. But I'm like, I wonder if it's early. I wonder if it's still early enough. It goes about 2 seconds in to where you can actually wind the music box. So let me just come up with a new set of boxes here, okay? So at the start of cycle 5, let's say here, right here, Toy Bonnie appears in vent. It's at this moment, and Toy Bonnie won't leave until possibly here and probably later on. So that's kind of up in the air in terms of when Toy Bonnie will actually leave the vent. So Toy Bonnie appears in the vent, but there is a period of time in which Toy Bonnie won't jump at you, and it's about, I would say, 3/8 of the way through that you can expect Toy Bonnie to jump. So so let's say Toy Bonnie will jump. So Toy Bonnie will jump you if you're in the cameras winding the music box during this period right here, but there's a period in which you can actually go to the camera, and I think this might cue him up for an attack, but if you get out of here fast enough and put your mask down, then you can actually you can still survive. Hold on. Flip glitch. So you have to do it within this period of time, like at the start of the cycle. And if you see Toy Bonnie, let's see, flip glitch. Let's just say it's like this, okay? Cool. So it's this period of time. If you spot Toy Bonnie at this point in time right here, and then you go to your camera and do your flip glitch, you have to get your mask on before Toy Bonnie will jump, and then it registers, oh hey, I think you just went to the camera, it's time for Toy Bonnie to attack, but Toy Bonnie doesn't attack because your mask is on. So since your mask is on, Toy Bonnie just goes across instead. So let's say the flip glitch ends like here, and then you have your mask on by the time Toy Bonnie will jump, and then instead of having to wait forever, the stubborn animatronic attack will occur here. Okay, so I think it prompts Toy Bonnie to be in the attack mode because you went to the camera while Toy Bonnie was there, but there's enough of a leeway on that where if you flip really fast, you can get out of there and have your mask on by the time Toy Bonnie is going to jump. All right. Also, you can get in a wind or two if you're early enough as well. Like I tried that as well. It doesn't depend on whether you wind the music box or not. It depends on how early you are in the cycle. And it seems that there is a period of time to which Toy Bonnie will appear versus when Toy Bonnie will jump at you. So that's where the flip glitch comes in. It's basically you see Toy Bonnie in the vent, you go to the camera and you go immediately out. And if you arc up enough so that you get like a little bit of charge on the music box, you can do that as well. And you just make sure your mask is on by that time when Toy Bonnie will jump, and then Toy Bonnie will come across your screen instead of jump scaring you. I think that's how it's working, and it's helped a few times. It's pretty risky though, because if you're too late, like if you're right here in the cycle and you try the flip glitch, I mean you're just gonna get jump scared. So if you try the flip glitch out here, basically, it's like, oh, flip glitch. Like, nope, you're getting a Toy Bonnie jump scare. And you are done, and that's it. Yeah. Animatronic jump scare. Oh, that didn't copy well. Let's just do a just solid red. Jump scare. Yeah, so that's the difference between all that going on. And it doesn't really last that long, really. It's pretty quick. A lot of people ask me about why I don't get scared with all the animatronic jump scares. Ooh, look at that. Copied that too. So, then we can make this all together here. So if you do a flip glitch here, you have the mask on, and instead of that, you will have the stubborn animatronic attack. Or you could have a double attack. You could have a double attack that lasts double the length, which will bring you like all the way out here. It's possible. Let's put that as an option. Or double attack glitch. That's where you have a withered animatronic at the same time. Here, so it's gonna be like double the length. Yeah. Cool. Let's make this yellow because that's usually either Withered Chica or Withered Bonnie. Oh man, so there are a lot of risks you got to take. Basically, that's what I'm trying to get across here. Got some nice teeth there, Bonnie. Toy Bonnie. A possible alternate strategy with Toy Bonnie, and when I say this as well, in all significance, you want to be on cam 11 as much as you can, and there's not much room for error. But if you could somehow go over, and you'd have to let up on your mouse button for this, but if you go to cam 2, if you catch Withered Bonnie right outside the vent and flash him a few times, then go back to cam 11, or leave it on cam 2, then have to go to cam 11 every time or whatever, you might be able to stall Toy Bonnie a little bit so he attacks a little bit less. But I don't think that's going to be a reliable thing with all the animatronics going around. But I'm trying to get you all thinking. And if someone can come up with a strategy that makes it so that everyone and his grandma beats this mode, then tell your grandma great job and give her a high five for me. But man, it would be really cool. A lot of the strategizing here, one, I want to help people get over the fears that they have for these things, because these are things that startle you. You might have a fear of machinery coming to life and that type of thing. But I mean, people have those fears. But if I can help kind of calm that down, explain why this is happening, and okay, this is how to avoid it, and then you eventually conquer that mode, hey, that's awesome. And a lot of these strategy videos are to that end and to that hope, but also it goes about doing that by minimizing the randomness, understanding how things work, why they work, and like the time diagrams and all that too. So yeah, the point is kill the randomness as much as you can. And if this, in addition to all these strategy notes and all that, if that can help, and this is actually a way to stop Toy Bonnie a little bit, then that would be cool. So you see what I was doing in this one. It's not really reliable when there's so many animatronics in play. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you can thwart Toy Bonnie a little bit, maybe you'd have a better chance, and you'd make each run a better chance at winning. So that's for you all to experiment with. I think I try it here, right? Yeah, with the jump scare there. That would have been a jump scare right there. So those are all the clips I have on that. Let me look at the other notes I have. Toy Bonnie's movement. So Toy Bonnie goes from the show stage where you can't see him, moves to cam 3. So that's party room 3, and then cam 4, and then cam 2, then the cam 6 vent. So he kind of goes like 1, 2, 3, and then in the vent and cam 6 on the right side. I'm pretty sure he could turn around maybe at the cam 2 junction because he has a bad habit of showing up too much in a row, and it gets really annoying. And then again, the flip glitch here, I think I've illustrated what goes on, and I think why it happens the way it happens here. But the flip glitch is really risky. It's going to end your run most of the time, but if you can get Toy Bonnie out of the vent reliably, that's at least a slight improvement. Yeah. What else? I think that's almost it. Again, if you don't beat this mode because it's too stressful or too much of a waste of time for you, I don't blame you. I still say that most runs are not winnable, and again, if this diagram helps you, if those video clips help you, then great. I'm hoping that you succeed. This is a game. life is more than a game or a bunch of games. There are a lot of things to enjoy and to excel at. I mean, that's one thing here is it's more than just beating this game. Is if I can help you excel at this, then that's great, and you did it, and that type of thing. If you've done it, um, that's really about it. How long? I'm an hour 10 into this video. So just remember 5 second cycles, 84 cycles in the night. There's movement at the junction of the cycles. If you have your music box being wound and you hit the end of a cycle, then you'll often have an animatronic attack forced. So animatronics will pull down the mask. That's why that happens, and then you start over again. It becomes problematic if you're right at the wrong point in the cycle to where Foxy can attack and will attack if you don't flash him in time. And this latency here with the mask, this 16 frame area, is all that it takes. That's why Foxy jumps so much. It's because you don't have a chance to flash him if you're in the wrong part of the iteration. And a lot of times you can't control that. If Toy Bonnie appears and doesn't attack until just the wrong point, and you don't get it just the right part in the iteration again, because you've got to charge that music box again, so that becomes an issue, then it's going to put you in a place to fail, and then you just have to play it all over again. So again, I would have a sense of humor about this game. Don't play it a ton. It's kind of one of those games that like you can stream for like maybe 45 minutes at a time, then move on to another game for a while. And if you win, you win. He's like, if he dies, he dies, with Rocky. Ivan Drago. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. I think I've described absolutely everything I've been able to take notes on. And if you have extra notes, then cool. We can make this super guide or something, and hopefully there will be a much more reliable way of winning this night. The second time through, it took me about 3 hours to win. I think that's inordinately fast, but I'm extremely fast with my mouse movements. So if you want to see that, you can go to the one where I won on 1.033 is probably the best one to watch. That has 5 second cycles and 7 minutes in. I should say I start at 19 seconds in and end at 7 minutes 19 seconds, and that's the night. So every night has a 70-second hour on this computer, which is how it's supposed to be. I'm quite sure. Oh man, it makes me want to go back and play Five Nights at Freddy's 1, because that one's supposed to be 9 minutes long. Each hour is supposed to be 90 seconds. And I guess also too, like there's some extra things where Foxy will move regardless of AI, even at AI equals 0, and it's like a 21 minus 5 times something plus something instead of a, is it less than the AI? All right, that's it. Now I'm just drifting off into no help mode. All right, thanks everyone for watching. Peace, God bless you, and have a great day. And I'll upload this video. I'm gonna try to make some more regular uploads, but again, it's been absolutely crazy, and life has not been the most perfect lately, but it is okay, because life is not always perfect. You just kind of got to deal with things and hopefully make videos along the way if you're doing videos. So anyway, thank you so much for, again, your patience, and I'm hoping this helps people with this mode. If you're helped by this as well, just give me a shout out on your victory videos. It's better to get a clip of you playing this the entire way through, like go from start menu to end menu. When I had world records done by either Twin Galaxies or Guinness Gamers, you always had to do that. You had to provide the entire gameplay sequence from start to finish. And if you don't, then it's like, well, I mean, that leaves room for you to have edited the video and that type of thing. So that's why a lot of these, I don't edit it down. I just post the whole clip when I can. And that's about it. And I know some things happen that are funky too. Like if your camera messes up or you don't hit record, because I've done that too. But just try to get a video of it if you do it. Just have it running, and then when you get it, you'll have a video of proof and that type of thing. Like with Ultimate Custom Night with 5020, people were, I think the second day, they're like, oh, I won the mode, and like they just showed a screenshot, or like the sequence, which you can just like do a speed hack on just to get there. Or you can shut your laptop for 4.5 minutes, then open it up again. And, you put it in sleep mode, and you bring it back, and it still registers as, oh, you did it. So you can still do that type of stuff with these games. It's not the most the error handling wasn't really done too well, and there's still a lot of bugs left in these games. But anyway, I don't know. I hope Scott fixes some of these bugs, but I know the remasters are already out, and I know that some of the remasters also have some funny bugs as well. For example, Five Nights at Freddy's 6, which is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Sim. Yeah, that thing is like you have Mr. Hippo times 4 on the same stage. That's more of like a funny thing. Like some of these are just so funny. It's not going to affect your gameplay, but it's amusing. So a lot of Scott's games are themed toward the tongue-in-cheek type of variety, and it kind of fits his style to still have some of these defects in there. So I don't blame him for having it, but the QA in me it screams whenever I see one of those things. Like, man, like why can you click Freddy's nose through the camera in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, or why is this one spelled wrong, or why like all these little things. Why is Toy Bonnie so annoying and non-balanced? But maybe the flip glitch is the way to get around him. Be early enough in the cycle, then do a flip glitch, and then it'll force Toy Bonnie out most of the time there. All right, that's it. Peace. The end.